I think sucking at something when you start is a blessing. Let me explain.
I posted my first very vulnerable video and it got a whooping 6 views and 1 like. And I didn't expect that to affect me, but it did. And I was like, damn, that's it. Like, I exposed myself for absolutely nothing. Like, it didn't even matter. And I kind of expected myself to start thinking that it wasn't even good, to get discouraged and to be like, all right, well, this isn't for me. That didn't happen. I thought I would start doubting myself more. I would question if it was even good or worthy, if I should keep it up there, or if I should delete it immediately. But it didn't happen. And I was like, okay with it. And that surprised me because in the past, whenever I would fail at something, meaning not succeed immediately, I would get extremely
discouraged and scared, and I'll just like crawl into my little comfort zone right back again.
And this time it didn't happen, and I started thinking, maybe this is actually the part that nobody talks about. Starting when no one is watching, starting when nobody cares. And that it's probably not as bad as we think it is. Because if I only keep creating, if people respond, I'm not really creating for the message. I am just being a performer for other people's gazes. So when I'm only creating when people react, I'm not really creating, I'm just reacting. So maybe the beginning is supposed to be boring. Maybe the beginning is supposed to be silent. Maybe in the beginning it's supposed to be just you figuring out your voice. Because the silence and the non-reaction of the outer world gives you the space to figure out who you actually are, what you actually want to say. And I think a lot of people never get past this part. They think that when the validation from outside doesn't come in immediately, that must mean something is wrong with them. But what if that's not the truth? What if the truth is simply that the world is giving you space to know exactly who you are, to build yourself into that version?
I'm going on a little bit of a tangent here, but what I wanted to say is that I think that the world gives you space to practice before it gives you eyes to see your work.
People will start caring. And I think people never get past this part precisely because it feels like nothing's happening. But I don't think that's true. There is so much happening. There is patterns of shame being broken. There is patterns of fear to be seen that are being broken. There is a creative identity developing. There is a voice being shaped. And all of that is happening in the blessing of privacy. What more could you want? So I think maybe the silence is intentional and it's actually the best place to start. No pressure, no expectations, just figuring things out in silence and privacy. The real beginning isn't when people start watching your work, when people start liking your work, when people start relating to your work. The beginning is when they don't, and you still keep going. So maybe somebody is watching this, and maybe not, but if somebody's watching this that's in a similar situation, learn to enjoy the process. Take this time as a blessing and ride the wave. And yeah, see you at the top.